Well, welcome everyone. My name is Roland Kym. Today I'm looking forward to talking to you about nifty niches that make money. So how can you build a niche in the real estate business that is going to make you more business in an area that you really want to be working? And so what I'd like to do is if you in the future are watching this, there is a workbook attached to this presentation. And that workbook right now is being messaged out to the different folks on the presentation, but is also always available on our website, Launch, Grow, Harvest. And I welcome you to grab that. One moment here, I'm just turning another thing off. So what we're going to do over the next 30 minutes is, again, talk about how realtors out there are figuring out what could be a niche for themselves. How could they be building and generating more business through a targeted, deeper approach in a specific area of their business. And it is joining, there's a workbook again that is kind of following through the entire steps that we'll be talking to, all the questions that we'll be answering when we're covering today. So again, this is what the workbook looks like. Go out there and find it. Take some time to really, now that you're watching this video, take some time to answer those questions and be critical with yourself on your true answers and what is working in your business and what you want more of and where the opportunity exists to go deeper and generate more results with hopefully a lot less effort. What we'll be covering today, approximately over the next half hour, is a little bit about review and reflect, talk about what is your unique ability, what fills and drains your bucket, what are all the possible niches out there? Well, we'll cover a few of them. There's a lot more. How to pick a niche that's ideal for you, how to identify and research your niche, and develop expertise in it, build a strong online presence, network and partnership suggestions, and how to create targeted marketing campaigns, and providing exceptional service, and how to leverage technology in building a niche, and then monitor and adapting it to make sure it's always working for you. And then we'll quickly jump into a case study where we'll be quickly running through those questions in a real life situation. All right. So you want to build a niche in your business. Well, first, you really need to review and reflect and figure out where you are, because everyone has a different story. So if you're a realtor that's only been, active for a year, you're at a different stage versus someone that's been around for 15 years. But I can tell you that every one of us, regardless of where we are, we have in the past 3 to 6 months good times and bad times. And so in the review and reflect, that is an opportunity to really be clear on yourself, where you are, so you know what you're building and where you want to be going. And some of the questions that are important to be clear on and answer in your booklet and know in order to find the best possible niche for yourself is, in the past 3 to 6 months in your business, what's been successful? Like what has really worked for you? And in that same time frame, what's been crappy? What have you not liked? What are you trying to avoid? And a really good question is, what is making you most happy and excited in your business? In the past 3 to 6 months, where are your transactions coming from, or the type of people that you're working with? Or in essence, what I'm asking you to write down for yourself is, what is making you most happy, most excited in your business in the past 3 to 6 months? Because that will be important. Furthermore, answering, what do you want more of in your business and what do you want less of? Those are really two important questions. And so as you get more leads and opportunities, you want to steer your business into the right direction, especially if you're building a niche. You want to make sure it's a niche in an area that is going to be bucket filling and bring you more business that you want instead of just general business. And then a really nice question is, where do you want to be in a year in your business? We often underestimate what we can get done, or actually we often overestimate what we can get done in a year, but underestimate what we can get done in 3 to 5 years. And in 5 years, you essentially could reinvent anything. And in a year's time, you can have a very big impact on your business. And so by answering these questions, it will allow us, you'll notice later, to get more clear on where the opportunity exists for you and your niche. The next question you need to figure out is, what is your unique ability? And a niche is really built on that. You don't want to build a niche in an area that you're not strong or passionate about, because it would just be very draining and difficult. And like the coach Dan Sullivan says, your unique ability has 4 components. So what is superior ability is something that you do better than any other person, and people are already noticing it about you. and it brings value to other people currently. So what is your superior ability? Passion. What is your passion about? What are you, yeah, what, gets you up in the morning? What skill and ability do you like to share and bring to others? Energy, what energizes you and the people around you that you're already doing and you know that it's fulfilling. And what's an area that you want to keep improving on at all times? An ability, an area that you want to grow and strengthen, and you want to keep educating and learning and pouring into yourself. So figure out what your unique ability is by answering, in those 4 areas, and figure out, perhaps based on some of the future ideas and suggestions, what a potential niche could be for you. More so, as well as answering what fills your bucket and what drains your bucket. I can certainly say that when you're starting in real estate, most of us are doing everything and anything that has a chance of working, and many of the things do work. And we often don't take time to reflect back on which of those activities that led to business that I closed was bucket filling, and which of those activities was bucket draining. And so we often aren't taking a step back to review and strategize and streamline where we're going. Or you might be a realtor that's overanalyzing and really figuring out, I only want to do these few things, but perhaps you're not doing enough lead gen behind it to make it successful. But if you are at this stage, a powerful step in figuring this out is list all the things that you do on a daily, weekly basis, and they are either filling your bucket or draining your bucket. So example could be writing contracts, touring clients, door knocking, having check-in calls, negotiating, doing photographs, interacting at networking events. For different realtors, they fall on different sides of this spectrum. And so we have realtors that I work with in the office that are just kicking butt and love door knocking. And for me, that would be something that drains my bucket. So it's always on the draining side. Really take some time and figure out all the core tasks that you are doing in the role of a realtor and figure out where it lands. A future thing that this will do as well for you is being able to figure out what things you can cordon off and hand off to other people. But a big step, as I mentioned, in figuring out where your niche lies is really being honest with yourself and figuring out what items are draining you and what items are filling your bucket. And so take a time and in your workbook, write that down because it will be important. We're going to run through a couple different niches. And there's obviously a whole bunch more niches. If you Google, possible real estate niches or niches in entrepreneurial business, there's so many ways that you could build a niche. And what's interesting, most of these niches that we'll cover right now, you could segment them even further. And one of the benefits of going even more segmented than one of these is that it's more protective. You can protect against it better. You can grow better. It's very clear. You can build a deep niche versus a wide one. All right. So some of the typical niches that you may or may not have heard of already are luxury homes, high-end expensive properties in upscale neighborhoods, working with first-time buyers, so catering to individuals or families purchasing their first home, working with investment properties. So properties bought primarily for investment purposes, including rentals and flips, specializing in commercial real estate. Let me just mute someone here, one moment. Focusing on vacation homes. So you could build a niche where you are helping folks buy and sell properties in popular vacation destinations. Build a niche with green, sustainable, or zero footprint homes, properties that are environmentally friendly and energy efficient. You could work with historic heritage properties. That could be a niche, working with homes and buildings that have historical significance. Working with relocation services could be a niche where you're assisting individuals or families moving to a new city and area. Foreclosures and short sales are certainly an area that someone can build a niche where they're being sold by the lenders and no longer being sold by the homeowner. Helping military relocation services. So you're helping military families find homes when they're reassigned is a niche. I know several realtors that are specializing in the senior housing market as their niche. So they're specializing in living in place and then eventually specializing in finding housing for elderly individuals, including downsizing and assisted living. You could specialize in condominiums or townhouses, and you could specialize in farms or cabins or in new construction where you're representing either the developer or working with clients in pre-sale. Specializations in urban living, so folks that are, really working on living downtown and the pros and cons of that. Specializing in waterfront properties, golf course communities, specializing in houses and homes that cater to folks with pets and promoting a pet-friendly property niche or co-housing community niche, where that's certainly something that's important in lots of cities that are under pressure with a housing shortage. Co-housing is becoming a real segment of a market. And again, luxury rentals, if you wanted to go in the rental market, could be a niche. Student housing is a great niche if you're in a college or university city. You could specialize and build a niche in international real estate, where you're assisting clients in buying or selling properties internationally. You have a Rio property niche, a probate real estate niche, where you're assisting folks that are going through the process of an estate sale. Multifamily properties niche, so working with apartment buildings, triplexes, fourplexes, more, where that's an expertise that most generalists don't have. Working with commercial leasing is a niche. Corporate housing, short-term housing solutions for business professionals, or specializing in accessible homes for people with disabilities, or tiny homes, or focusing only on single-family homes, or working with a specific type of professional. So you could work on your niche is helping medical professionals find housing. So you're doing it, you're going deep into that area where you're helping people find homes near hospitals or medical centers for people that are really busy in the medical profession. I think what you've seen from those different topics is there's a plethora of niches, and there's so many actually, and some of the great ones that I've seen is when people break one down even further and they get their little niche that really resonates with them, and that someone hasn't done it at a high level. So how to pick a niche for me? Again, what is your unique ability? What is the value that you offer? What fills your buckets? Very important. What are the type of clients you want more of? And what are the clients that make you happy to work with? The longer you are in the business, what you'll see is your clients will attract the same type of clients. So, you might make a strategic decision in the future where you choose not to work with a certain type of client because it doesn't feel good, it doesn't fill your bucket, it doesn't resonate with you. And, you may choose to refer them out. But in the long run, that's probably a very smart step, because if you keep focusing on the type of clients that you want to work with, you will find more of those. And a niche is a really powerful way of doing that. So have you picked a niche? The step is you gotta kind of find one based on what we spoke about. You can change your niche if it doesn't work for you, but if for the purpose of this video and purpose of your workbook, pick a niche and then build a SWOT analysis around it to figure out what your strengths are with it, what your weaknesses are, where the opportunities of that niche are, and what are the threats in that niche. So you want to identify, once you have a niche, you want to identify and research your niche. So you got to research the market when you've chosen one. You have to analyze your local real estate market to identify where are the opportunities, what are the emerging trends. Again, based on your niche, it's different factors that are impacting it. You have to assess your own interest and expertise. So choose a niche that aligns, as we mentioned, with your passions and your strengths. And really, really important, identify your competitors. If it's a niche that's a typical one or an obvious one, there will be some very obvious and typical competitors that you can, one, really figure out what are they doing and rip off and duplicate so you can get up to scale quickly, and then figure out what can you do better to separate yourself from them. If you pick a niche where it's hard to figure out who the competition is, take some time and do work on it. There's definitely people working in your niche. They might not be actively aware that they're in that niche, but they've trended in that area, and so there's ways of figuring out who your competition is. You really need to develop an expertise in your niche. So focus on education and certification, obtain relevant designations that can enhance your credibility. A very obvious niche is if you focused on luxury homes, get your luxury home certification label. There are quite a few programs and designations in the luxury field that are very important for the realtors that specialize in that niche. If you want to get a referral at a general at a general, event with a general realtor, they're not worried about what your designations are and your specifics. But if you are going really, really deep in the luxury market and you're going to a networking event with other realtors at some convention, and you walk on into, a luxury group of realtors and you don't have your designations, you will feel that it's an important thing because they will ask you, initially, where are you from? And then when you say you specialize in the luxury market, they'll ask you a number of different questions on which designations you have, because that's important to them. So make sure that if there are relevant certifications or designations for your niche, that you get them. And only certain, niches have clear designations, but many of them have other designations that would assist in growing your sphere or your database or getting more productive. So get very creative and make sure that you're constantly, educating and pushing yourself forward. And stay updated on the latest trends, regulations, and anything market related to your niche, be it similar industries that are impacting it, or workshops or webinars, or folks that are, that are influencing it. That's part of what you need to do if you're going to be a specialist. You have to go really, really deep. When you're a generalist, the nice part is, you can do real estate for almost anyone, anywhere. And that's a pretty wide, big net that you can cast to make sure that you catch a fish. And you probably aren't getting quizzed or getting reviewed as much when you're a generalist. When you're a specialist, you definitely need to know your field, because you are asking someone to work with you because you specialize in that field. So you better be able to prove it. You want to build a strong online presence. So obviously, most realtors have a website. If you're creating a niche, you better create a website that's focused on that niche, or have a really big section on your general website that makes it very clear that what your niche is and what separates you, and prove that you can serve that market and tailor the information for that. The good part about creating a targeted website for a niche aspect to your business is it's a lot easier to optimize it with content, and with some paid ads. You can get a lot more pickup for search engine rankings and get hopefully a lot more business from it by being more clear and being more specific with your online presence. Social media, make sure that you have all the key social media platforms built out. So on Facebook, on Instagram, that your niche is represented there, that you're creating content and building a brand behind it, and cross-pollinating perhaps your general real estate practice information with your niche specialty. Content marketing, make sure that you're blogging to your website. It's very easy now to create engaging, powerful blogs that get picked up through AI and ChatGPT. Make sure you're doing that. It's important to get the right rankings and get a larger audience growing. Networking and partnerships becomes really, really important when you're doing a niche. It's important for any type of business, but lots of entrepreneurs and realtors don't do much networking or create partnerships. But when you're creating a niche, it's really awesome. You can find niche associations already created, or networking groups, perhaps, for some niches out there. For example, in the senior niche market, there's lots of different networking groups or different associations that are already servicing the senior market. And so by getting involved in all of those, you are cross connecting, and you are, again, showing that you're an expert and making sure that you have the right credentials. Other channels, other nifty niches will not be as clear and will not have associations that are clearly labeled for them. But if you clearly know what you're looking for, you can go out there and find it. You want to collaborate with professionals. So building relationships with other professionals who are involved in the same segment, the same niche as what you're building, is really powerful, because you can cross pollinate opportunities. You can share clients. You can, when opportunities come up where you might need to invest a little bit in perhaps a trade show or some kind of event, you can do it together. And so really, really important is partner with businesses that cater to your niche market. If you're into luxury houses, again, an obvious one is to partner with luxury car dealerships. And there's lots of people that are doing that at a great level, and it's a win-win relationship. You want to create targeted marketing campaigns. So direct mail to make sure the right message is going to the right people through, be it personalized postcards, brochures, or newsletters, a client list that you're creating. Make sure that when you are building a niche, that you always treat them differently. You don't want to send your niche, newsletter list, your general newsletter. You will lose them. Your niche audience really expects to be spoken to for that clear and concise channel. Email marketing, build an email list, like I was saying, of prospects, send regular newsletters with make sure it's valuable and specific trending topics. Online advertising, again, use online advertising once you've built out your concept and your brand and your content that you're sharing to grow your audience, grow it beyond what your natural sphere of influence is. Providing exceptional service is always something we're working on, but in a niche business, it's really, really important, because what you're finding out is a bad experience in a general market. The person, even if they talk poorly to a few people, they're likely not talking to someone that knows you or intended to use you. But if it's in the niche business and someone has an unpleasant experience, they're likely talking to people that are your fellow service providers, are people that are connected to you, people that were perhaps thinking of working with you, and it has a lot more risk. So if you're building out a niche, you need to make sure that you focus on delivering great service and going the extra mile to exceed their expectations. And in that effect, you're getting testimonials, hopefully, and asking for referrals, because the nice part is successful niche business leads to much more niche referrals, much more easily than working on the general side of real estate. And so you can go really, really deep and build out a great network when you do it right, and if you're getting the success. Leveraging technology. So make sure that your data, your CRM is able to tag things effectively, so that, again, one thing you want to make sure is when you're sending out a message, to only send the right message to your niche market. It can be negative to, tag them in general and send them everything that you might send someone else. And you want to make sure that you have automated follow-ups, because there's only so much you can do yourself. In that, however, you want to make sure that there are certain touch points that are manual that you are doing that, might be leveraged through technology, where it's sending you reminders to go call this person or go follow up with a certain item. And in that way, you can automate the technology steps, but make sure that a bunch of them are relevant but automated, so that they're happening behind the scenes without your active involvement. Many niche businesses have built out an app or a piece of technology that's specific to what they're offering and what they're working on. And if it's available, it's really great to do, because the app development cost has gotten so low that it's a really nice way of offering value to the niche market and corralling them, so you know where they are and you have all their contact information if you can come up with a custom app that's of importance for them. So when you're doing all these things, you need to take time to step out of your business, hopefully at least maybe once a month or once a quarter, and you got to monitor what are the results and then tweak it, adjust it slightly if needed. Tracking performance is so important. So regularly analyzing the performance of your marketing campaigns, your website traffic, your client interactions. Pretty much all aspects of your niche business need to be tracked and monitored. And then, if required, slight adjustments, adapting and evolving and making, slight adjustments. One of the most harmful things in your business can be making erratic and too many adjustments versus just, staying on the course and making slight adjustments. And most visibly, how I illustrate that and remind myself of that is, if I was a pilot flying from Vancouver to London, erratic movements would at best cause a bumpy ride, and at worst could be an accident, and probably won't get me anywhere close to London. But if I stay the course and make slight adjustments along the path, I'll probably be pretty close to where I want it to be when the flight is over. And so the same thing is with your business. Track it, adjust it, but make slight adjustments on your niche. All right, so let's talk now, so you can visualize this, about a case study. We'll talk about myself, what my niche is. We'll run through the questions, and hopefully that helps you visualize what you could do in the plethora of different niches that are out there. And so I will quickly run through this. Review and reflect. Okay, where am I now in my real estate business? Okay, I have a successful real estate business, but I feel like I have too many lead sources active to generate my results, and I'd like to get more business from less number of my leads. What's been successful in the past 3 to 6 months in my business? I love inbound business, repeat and referrals, and investment properties have been really successful. To the opposite side, what's been crappy for me in the last 3 to 6 months in my business? I hate losing clients who I did a great job for 5+ years ago. I received a glowing testimonial from them. I tried to stay in touch with my automated and manual touch points. And yet, 7, 8 years later, after I had a successful interaction with them, they chose to use a different realtor. And so that has always been a pain point for me, but it's always been a risk with my generalist business uh, style, because the truth is there is no shortage of great realtors in my market. My clients are driven, successful folks, and probably each client knows 5, 6 great realtors, and so it's very easy for me to fall out of consistent touch with clients and lose the business, and that really, really bothers me. What makes me most happy and excited in my business that has happened in the last 3 to 6 months is clients who appreciate my experience and view me as a professional and value and respect my time. So what do I want more of in my business? I want more offer-ready clients with experience who can tell the value and difference that I offer. And what that means in very clear terms is I want more clients that have had real estate experience outside of my market with other realtors, and they're offer ready. So they come, I provide them great service, and they can tell the difference. What I want less of in my business, I want less looky-loos who waste time. I want less clients who take a long time, possibly never buy or sell, clients that you need to re-recruit. What I mean by that is, sellers that you meet with, you have a listing appointment, you feel like you've gotten connected, and you're about to list, something comes up, and it's not the right time to sell. And then 6 months down the road, you're back at the table, but now you're back at the table with 3 other realtors. I don't want to have to re-recruit my clients. And where do I want to be in 1 year in my business? I want to have a business that's 33% bigger than what it is today by going deeper, not wider, in my lead generation methods. And so I just want to build out my niche lead generation business a lot more. What is my unique ability? Okay. Honestly, I say it with full respect. I work harder than most realtors, and I can humbly say that. I might not work smarter at times than some realtors, but I certainly work harder than most. And I understand real estate values and know how to get a deal done. I can very easily go out on a limb and kind of tell where a property likely will sell and how to get the deal done. Whether my client wants to go that path or not, I can see the path. I'm passionate about being a real estate professional, and I like to share my negotiation and industry skills. What gives me energy is doing deals and moving people forward. Just, getting an opportunity and closing it, moving on, helping the next person, and keep improving 100%. I really believe that, you can't place a limit on how much practice an area takes and how much more you can pour into your specialty. So in finding what my niche was, part of that was figuring out what fills and drains my bucket. So what drains my bucket is random and surface interactions. It's door knocking, it's small talk, it's cold calling, housewarming parties, and essentially wasting time. What fills my bucket is being viewed as a trusted guide, being relied on and referred to from day one, being recommended, seen as an industry leader, and being valued for my time and experience. I really feel like, after 15 years in the business, there's something I can offer that took me a long time to develop. And the clients that get that and that appreciate that really fill my bucket, because it tends to be a very powerful and rewarding interaction. So how to pick a niche? Well, what is my unique ability? I get deals done with people who trust me. What fills my bucket? I complete deals. What fills my bucket is completing deals, getting referrals, and having happy clients. What value do I offer? I'm 100% fiduciary, trustworthy, honest, and hardworking. I don't need a deal to happen. I don't have commission's breath. I'm always there for my client's best interest. And I do believe as long as I serve my clients, in the end, it'll take care of me. What kind of clients make me happy to work with? Well, I want to work with clients who are serious, ready to transact and look at me as the professional from that point forward if they choose to work with me. The kind of clients I want more of are I want clients that know the difference between an agent that's done 20 deals and an agent that's done over 1,000 successful transactions. I want someone that understands the value I offer as an industry leader, brokerage founder, teacher, and the value I can bring. And so in picking my niche, I've figured out, okay, what's my SWOT analysis? Well, I like networking with other realtors to create referral partnerships. I really like that. My niche is what I've decided in this case study, and in reality is my niche is realtor referrals. I love getting referrals from other realtors outside of my market. The reason I love that is because that realtor trusts me. That realtor is connecting me in a three-way email to their client. And right from that point forward, I'm coming in from a position of value and strength. I'm able to connect with that client, figure out how I can help them, and help them, most often in the first step, buy a place in Vancouver. And, I might have different cultural, economical, social, political views than that client. And if I was meeting the client locally at an open house, we might not connect. But when I come recommended as a strong realtor referral from someone they trust in another city and they want to move to Vancouver, they just want to deal with professionalism in that transaction. So we get past all that, and I'm in a really good spot where I can be in my sweet spot. And that's the type of business I love, and that is my niche. It's getting referrals from other realtors. And so the SWOT on that is I like networking with other realtors to create referral partnerships. A weakness potentially is I sometimes move too fast and assume I have the business after referral is made. So when someone connects me, sometimes, again, I jump too fast and want to move forward right into the active part versus perhaps answering some questions and making sure that they're comfortable. Opportunities here's a big opportunity, folks. 75% of all realtors turnover, leave the business every 3 to 4 years, and the top 25% barely move. So every 4 years, 75% of the realtors who had partnerships with other realtors are mathematically leaving the business. So there's lots of referral partnerships available. And equally, the flip side of that coin is the threats. So as I'm establishing ongoing relationships with realtors, even successful referral partners across Canada and North America, many of those will not survive, will not choose to stay in the business for the long term. And so with the high realtor turnover, opportunity is great, but also a lot of wasted relationships where we had successful referrals, and then for whatever reason, one of those partners is no longer being a realtor, no longer in the business. And so that is a challenge where you have to mitigate. So as focusing my niche on realtor referrals, I've researched where the main geographical sources of inbound people are to Vancouver. I've researched what industries and companies are the main sources of inbound people to Vancouver. I've created an action plan, excuse me, of cities that I've started to build my referral partnerships with realtors in those cities. We work on it daily, so we're constantly building partnerships and meeting realtors across Canada in all these little cities, on the phone and introducing each other and seeing, if we can add each other to our referral network. I learn which realtors around me in my local market are in the main competition for inbound referrals already, and I try to do my best not to use their existing referrals. Now, again, everyone has a different strategy. If your niche is not realtor referrals, and you go on one of these realtor pages private pages where someone throws out, hey, do you know a good realtor in Regina, Saskatchewan? And 12 people say the same name, that's a great name where you are pretty darn sure that they're, your client, if you refer your client to them, is going to be taken care of. However, for me, building connections and wanting to specialize in realtor referrals, when I see 12 people mention the same person in Regina, it's not the person I'm going to use because that person already has 12 relationships in Vancouver. And so it's just approaching it from a strategy of building your niche. Developing expertise. I do that. I research and study market trends constantly to become the local expert for inbound referrals. As a result, I have lots of realtors that outside of Vancouver that call me for market updates. Sometimes they are very early with their clients in figuring out whether their clients are going to move to my area, but they really want to get updates on information. So that's one of the ways that I offer value. I attend events that will strengthen my skills, and I invest into ongoing education. In my niche, I have built my online presence is ongoing, and to that end, I have built Move to Vancouver Canada website and all the social handles that we market to, and that's our way of again trying to grow our network and our message and our brand and our audience of when people want to move to Vancouver that they would potentially consider working with me. I have built also another website called North of the Bridges for folks that are looking to move into the North Vancouver area. And that's an area that I'm marketing more and turning that page in more of a community page to try and get in front of folks when they're relocating to the Vancouver area. I use AI to create blogs and content for my website and my blogs. And I have a local service provider section on each one of my sites where I'm inviting proven successful vendors to join the site and share their information at no charge, where they can hopefully get spillover business from my database. And as such, I'm offering value to the folks going to the website and as well as the local providers and hopefully getting, more business as a result. With building a strong online presence, I have joined organizations like Keller Williams Relocation and other relocation services, again, looking for realtor partnerships that are hopefully going to find an opportunity to recommend their client to Vancouver. And hopefully I take that position that I can be the realtor of choice for them to be referred to. I network multiple times a year away from my city where I'm going to learning opportunities, and I'm very cognizant when I go of how many kind of relationships I'm trying to connect with in certain areas in North America. I'm trying to find certain realtors where I have a gap. I work daily on connecting with my referral partners and on expanding my relationships and making sure that I have referral partners in each town, municipality, city across Canada. Constantly working on that as people are coming and going. But if you ask me any city in Canada, I have 3 to 5 realtors that I trust. Some of them we've done business with, and others I just know from my research and my interaction with them that they're good people and do good service. So it's something that I've created and continue to map out to have a strong database. I attend networking events, so I've joined. Oh yeah, that's continued. I have a monthly Roland's Referral Realtor newsletter going out. And so that's a specific newsletter. It's not my general one. That's a specific newsletter that's going out to all my referral realtor partners across North America. I offer, value from my perspective from Vancouver, but I'm also, including information in there that hopefully they can just rinse and repeat and put it in their local newsletter and get some leverage from it. So I'm giving them content. I'm giving them training opportunities to learn, such as this one that you're watching right now. I have a monthly Move to Vancouver.com Spanish edition newsletter going out more into the Spanish community. It's a strategy that we're building. I've hired a Spanish growth coordinator, translator to expand the reach into the Spanish community and get a lot more inbound referrals. So providing exceptional service. I appreciate inbound referrals by thanking them and sending them a gift right away. As soon as someone calls me, and often I have inbound referrals. I have realtors calling me, hey, do you know someone in Penticton? I have a referral for Penticton. Instead of being like, Penticton's not my area. Sorry, I can't help. I connect them with my great Penticton realtor partner. And I'm not going to get anything out of that transaction. I don't get any commission, but I know that by scratching the back of the realtor in Penticton and the realtor that reached out from Austin, Texas, having a client that goes to Penticton, if I make both of those folks happy, I'll probably benefit from some inbound referral as a result over volume and time. I appreciate inbound referrals by adding them to my annual Roland Kym referral contest. I appreciate inbound referrals by paying 30% commission for all the business that I receive from that referral for up to 3 years. I appreciate inbound referrals by including them on all our touch points and communication steps that we send out later when we start working with their referral person. And why I do that is we have some pretty good touch points, some great language, and some innovative things that we share. And a lot of realtors that have sent me opportunities are really grateful that they get to be included, and they see all that information because it allows them to improve their systems. I provide, again, free training events, such as one that you're just looking in my goal of giving to get. And I look for feedback and ask for reviews. So I'm doing my utmost in my niche to keep growing it. Leveraging technology, I've done all these things. In my database management system, everything is tagged properly for when we receive inbound referrals from my referral partners. That's recognized when I add more referral partners for specific towns, city, municipality. It's tagged properly. So if anyone asks me, hey, I need a Timmins, Ontario realtor, I can type that into my system and it'll populate, the 3 to 5 top realtors at that time that I'm aligned with, and I can share that. I automate follow-ups. I have of my touch point system, 60% of it is automated, and the other part is still manual. And we have a custom, real estate app where you can search that we share with our clients that we receive from our referral partners. Monitor and tracking, I'm a big believer in that. And as I get longer on the tooth with my business and more experienced, more and more success comes from not trying to reinvent the wheel, just making small changes and really looking for positive, constructive feedback. And so I've gotten a lot more comfortable with kind of undressing my systems and what I'm doing, and being open to feedback from my coach, being open to feedback from other realtors and the consumers, so that I am able to make the slight adjustments that will have the biggest impact. One small change in a solid business can have a huge impact. And so that is definitely something that I keep applying. So in a nutshell, I hope what you got from here is all the different ways that people build business. And one of the ways is through creating a niche. I would welcome anyone reaching out to me for any questions they have. I'm going to stop the recording right now.